Hello, welcome to ANS Solver. This is the fifth question of the paper, and as you can see, this is a linear combination of random variable question. So as you can see, there are masses in grams of large boxes, okay, and small boxes of chocolates, and they have the distribution of the normal distribution of 325, 6.1 and 167, 5.6. If you know, normal distribution is written as the mean, the variance. Okay. So what I can do is I can write this basically as I can write large boxes here, and I can say the mean is basically 325. Okay. The variance was 6.1, and the small boxes, okay, had the mean of 167 and the variance of 5.6. Correct? So now we need to find the probability that the total mass of 10 randomly chosen, okay, randomly being the keyword, large boxes of chocolates is less than, okay, 3240 grams. So first make an equation. So write the probability of 10 randomly chosen large boxes. So write 10L, okay, is less than, because of less than here, 3240. So the first thing you need to do is you need to calculate the mean of 10 large boxes, which is basically 10 into the E of one large box, or the mean of one large box. So it's basically 10 into 325, okay, which gives me my answer as 3250. Now what I can do is I can calculate the variance. Okay, so the variance basically of 10L will basically be 10 into the variance of L. This won't be 10 square, because here you are taking random boxes and independent boxes, that's why. So now you can simply write this as 10 into the variance of large boxes, which is 6.1. So I get my answer basically as 61. Correct? Now, for my understanding, what we can do is we can make a simple normal distribution curve. We know the mean is 3250, correct? And the value I have is 3240. So 3240 I know will lie here before the mean. Now we need less than of 3240. Basically we need area of the shaded region, which is here. So now I know my Z value formula, which is the value minus the mean over the standard deviation. So this is basically, 3240 minus 3250 over, I know standard deviation is the square root of variance, so I can simply write the square root of 61. Correct? Now I can simply use my calci for this, so I can write that 3240 minus 3250, okay, over root of 61 on my calci. So I simply get minus 128036. Now if you see, we need less than this, correct? So I know I need to do phi of minus 1.28036. Correct? This is what I can do. So I can simply use my calci for this. So what I can say is, on the calculator, okay, you can go simply to mode. When you go on mode, click on 3 where stat is written. And when you click on 3, click on AC. And when you click on AC, you can simply click on shift. When you click on shift, click on 1. And now click on 5 where distribution may be written. Now when you click on 5 on your display, you will get something like 1P, 2Q, 3R and 4T. So option 2 and 4 are not that important. we need to understand option 1 and 3, which is basically P and R. P basically means less than of the Z value, and R basically means more than of the Z value. Here we are calculating the phi, which means less than, so we click on 1. When we click on 1, we get something like P with a bracket here. So in the bracket, we can simply put the Z value here, which is minus 1.28036. So when I do that, I get my answer, basically as 0.1002. Okay, which is basically the final answer of the question. Now, find the probability that the mass of a randomly chosen large box of chocolate is more than twice being the key term, the mass of a randomly chosen small box. So, writing the equation, I can write this as the probability basically of a large box, okay, which is more than, because of more than twice of the small box. So when you read the question, note that this is not independent. This is a multiple, okay? This will come in the later use while calculating the variance. So yeah, now I can write this basically as the probability of L minus 2s, which is more than 0. So now I basically need to calculate the mean of large minus 2s. I know this is equal to the mean of the large is 325 and the mean of the small is 167. So this is 325 minus 2 into 167. Okay, this I can basically solve on the calci. Okay, so when I solve this on the calci, I get a mean of minus 9. Don't hesitate, your mean can be negative. Now, here comes the variance. So the variance of L minus 2s. I know the variance of a large box is 6.1 and the variance of a small box is 5.6. So I can write this as 6.1 and 5.6. Now a very important thing will come. The first thing which comes is you need to know two properties about variance. Your variance is always positive, correct? It can never be negative. So that means this minus sign won't be carried on and we'll write a plus sign. And if you remember, I told you this because they are using terms like twice. It's a multiple, okay? It's a weight basically attached. So you need to write this as 2, but this square because it's a multiple, okay? Whenever they use terms like twice, thrice, you always square it. But like if you see in part A or part 1, you see that we didn't square it because there were 10 randomly chosen boxes. So now I can simply solve this on the calci. Okay. So when I solve this on the calci, I get my answer as 28.5 as my variance. So now what I can simply do is I can make a normal distribution curve. I can say the mean is -9. My value which I have is simply 0. So I can write 0 here. Okay. Now if you see, I need more than of the 0. So more than is basically the part here. So now my formula is basically z equals to the value minus the mean over the standard deviation. So the value I know here is 0. So 0 minus -9 over the root of 28.5, because 28.5 is the variance. So the root of that will be the standard deviation. So 9 over root 28.5, if you solve on the calci, you'll get your answer as 1.68585. Now if you see, I need more than. So I simply do 1 minus the phi of 1.68585. Now to solve this, I can again use the calculator. I mentioned this in part 1, but I'll mention it again. So in the calculator, what you can simply do is, you can click on mode. When you click on mode, you can click on 3 where stat is written. And when you click on 3, you can click on AC. then click on shift, then you can click on 1 and then click on 5 where distribution is written. When you click on 5 on your calculator display, you'll get 1p, 2q, 3r, okay, and 4t. Now option 2 and 4 are not important. You need to know option 1 and 3. Option 1 basically means less than of the z value, and option 3 basically means more than. Here if you see, we are calculating 1 minus p and we are calculating more than. So I'll simply click on option 3. When I click on option 3, I get something like this. So now in the bracket, I can simply put the z value, which is 1.68585. Okay. So when I do that, I get, and I click on equal to, I get my answer basically as 0.0459, which is the final answer of the question.